So the number one rule to looking like a badass is to show off your man cleavage. Oh yeah. And a bonus here, if you've got hair on the chest, letting it flow out. I have a total of 8 hairs. And yes, they are named. But seriously, gents, if you want to look like a badass, make sure to V the chest and to cross the shoulders. Now, when I say V the chest, I'm literally talking about having a V here in the chest area. We see this with V-neck t-shirts, maybe with a Henley. Right here, I'm wearing a casual button-up, and I've got those 2 buttons unbuttoned. And understand, when I'm talking about V'ing up the chest, you don't have to show skin. No, wearing a necktie actually creates a V shape there. Wearing a jacket and buttoning it when you stand creates a V shape. Wearing a V-neck sweater over a dress shirt, again, creates that V, draws the attention to the chest, therefore making it look more pronounced. Next up, we've got crossing the shoulders. And when I say this, creating an optical illusion to make the shoulders look wider. So you can do this by throwing on a jacket. It's going to build up the shoulders. Most jackets out there with a bit of structure do this. You could wear a jumper or a sweater that has a line going across. I have one with a Celtic knot that when it goes across there, it just builds up the overall build of the shoulders. You can actually do that by wearing a shirt with epaulets on the shoulders. Again, drawing a little bit of attention. It may be even, type of stitching. It may be embroidery right there that is going to draw our attention and therefore make you look wider, make you look more masculine. So the next tip to dressing like a badass is to wear florals. And I'm not talking about floral shirts, although I do think if you pull off a shirt like this, you definitely have confidence and you know who you are and what you stand for. No, I'm talking about florals in fragrances, because what's interesting is violet leaf, guess what it smells like? Leather. Those of you familiar with Dior Fahrenheit know it smells like a leather jacket mixed in with gasoline. A very interesting and powerful smell. And for those of you that want something a little bit more modern, again, leveraging that violet leaf with a leather, just strong masculine smell, definitely check out Ombre Leather Parfum by Tom Ford. Another fragrance type that definitely screams badass are the old school animalistic type fragrances. And the reason being is most guys are too intimidated to wear it and they worry about what other people think. Here's the thing. You wear a fragrance like Koros or Anateus by Chanel. You are wearing this for yourself and people are going to notice, and some people aren't going to like, other people are going to absolutely love. All that being said, if you want to skip the foo-foo juice, wear the real thing. We're talking about leather jackets. No other garment in a man's wardrobe is going to scream badass like a well-fitted leather jacket. And a lot of this has to do with people's perception of leather. Again and again, when they've shown women what materials are the most masculine, leather again and again tops the list. When it comes to jacket styles, me personally, I love the racer style, but if you're a little bit heavier, check out a bomber. This is a classic style as well that works for guys with a little bit more weight in the midsection. Now, what about hair and the badass image? Guys, you got tons of options here. Maybe go with the classic pompadour, the look of the rebel, maybe an undercut. Modern rebel here, go with the quiff, the slick back. And if you're thinning out on top, you're going bald, you want something simple, guys, consider just simply shaving your head. Seriously, there was a scientific study, took the same guy, they gave him different hairstyles, and one he was actually bald, and they asked him, hey, which of these guys is actually going to be able to lift the most weights? The bald guy was not only seen as stronger, but in general, he was viewed as more aggressive, more badass. The next tip to looking like a badass is to work out first thing in the morning, every morning. Now, why not later in the day? Because you want the endorphin rush to happen early in the day, because this just makes you feel better. You stand taller, you walk better. All of a sudden, you're just feeling better about yourself. Your skin is going to look better, and you get the benefits throughout the day. Now, gents, I get it. When it comes to working out first thing in the morning, who's got time and motivation to get up every single day and get a workout in? Well, that's why, gents, I'm proud to bring you today's sponsor, Crossrope, and introduce you to their new Bluetooth connected jump rope experience called AMP that's unlike any connected workout experience you've tried. In a nutshell, what Crossrope has done is connected their jump ropes with an interactive experience. You get over 2,000 personalized workouts using their weighted ropes so that you can work your full body. Their AMP system enables you to set personalized jump rope targets to guide your jumping intensity and pace. And my favorite part is you can customize this to your experience and your skill level and the amount of time you have. Now, the workouts are guided and you get real-time feedback as you're actually jumping. That's the beauty of the whole Bluetooth system, is you actually get to see the speed and how long you've actually been working out. All this information right there in the simple, easy-to-use app that connects directly with your cross ropes. I love the fact that these jump ropes, you can do this anywhere. In your home, in your office, if you're traveling, just simply take these with you and you can get your workout in. And the pairing of the amp handles is seamless. It's simple, it's easy, it's fast. And a single charge, you can get up to 6 months of use. I had bought their original cross ropes years ago and love them. Cross rope uses these weighted ropes, different sizes, then they come with different weights, and that affects the intensity of the cardio workout that you're going for. If you've seen all those personalized systems out there, those things cost thousands of dollars. So for a fraction of that price, you get a personalized workout that is convenient, that you can travel with, that you can do anywhere. And by the way, if you've already got the weighted ropes, you just want to try those new handles, you can buy them separate. Go check them out. Use that link, gents. I'm linking to them down in the description of today's video. The next tip to look like a badass is to simply roll the shoulders back and to stand up straight. So many people have this bad habit. Maybe they're looking down at their phone. They're just maybe working at a desk with their head down all the time. Change it up. I know with me, I simply raise the screen of my computer. I use a standing desk and I simply try to remind myself to roll my shoulders back. When I go to the gym, I do different types of lifts that work those back muscles. This is key, guys. You want to make sure that you are not starting to fall over, because when you do this, it just makes you look weak. And with all this talk about taking care of the body, the next tip to dressing like a badass is to simply know the name of your tailor. I've said it probably 100 times on this channel, but get your clothing to fit you, especially if you are in shape, you take care of your body. In fact, some of you guys know that you've got quite a bit of a drop between your chest and your waist, meaning that your waist is relatively small. You know it's hard to find clothing, so get it adjusted, because you spend all that time taking care of yourself. Or if you're a big guy, get your clothing adjusted, because you'd rather look like you're large and in charge than fat and sloppy. We want you to be that guy when you walk in. The Kingpin, a good example there. Big guy, but he carries himself and he looks good. He looks like a badass because his clothing is tailored to fit his body. Now, we talked about the hair on top of the head, but having a little bit of stubble definitely makes you more attractive. Studies have been very clear about that. But going with a beard. Now, a lot of you guys I know can grow a beard. Me, I always try, but it doesn't really come out too much. I will say that if you have the genetics to grow a beard and you take care of it, this is something, there are so many people out there that love it, but in general, men that have facial hair are perceived as more masculine, as also more aggressive, but that can be, we'll transfer that into being a badass, yeah. Now, this next tip definitely isn't number one, but I will say it's an easy one, and that is to add a bit of mystery about your look by wearing sunglasses. Whether they're aviators, wayfarers, either one of those I think are great options. Club Masters are my personal favorite. I think the style just really sets it apart, but I do like having a good frame, and what you're doing is hiding the eyes. Now, another great thing about glasses is it creates just a more uniform look, basically brings balance to the face, and it can make you look better overall, draw attention to the eyes, and it keeps them hidden, a little bit of mystery. Yeah, definitely makes you look good and a bit of a badass. Now, when you come indoors, you got to take the glasses off, and that takes us to our next tip to looking like a badass is to be able to make eye contact. When you're talking, when you're engaging with people, you don't want to be looking down. So many guys do this, especially when they're talking to the ladies. Guys, make eye contact. Practice. And that's the key, is it doesn't matter who is out there. Practice making eye contact. You're in a city, yes, a little bit difficult, but small towns, around town, simply make eye contact, give people a nod, give them a wave, give them a smile. You're practicing doing this, so all of a sudden it becomes second nature, and you're not afraid to have, that 1 second, half-second eye contact with someone that you like, someone you want to deeper engage with, maybe a few seconds in a conversation. You want to have eye contact about 30 to 50% of the time. If you are giving a presentation, learn to make eye contact with people. It really brings them in, but it just gives you off a feeling of confidence, and that's what we're shooting for here. The next tip to looking like a badass is to be able to keep your anger in check. Somebody says something to rile you up, or they say something you completely disagree with. Don't lose your head. Don't lose your temper, because then you look like a hothead, not a badass. A badass is when people say something and it offends you. They're trying to get a rise out of you, and you can just simply look at them and you can stare them down, and you know that you could grab this person and probably rip his head off, but you're going to choose not to, or you're going to choose your time and place to, extract your revenge. It's best served cold, right, Fortunato? You guys know, like Edgar Allan Poe, come on. The next tip to looking like a badass, and I think being a badass, and notice these points are getting better as we go a little bit deeper. They don't really have anything to do with style, but saying what needs to be said. And sometimes you're going to have someone just talking and talking, and you let them go. But if they say something that doesn't work for you and your team, you don't want to belittle or embarrass somebody. And I always think if you're going to reprimand somebody, do it in private. If you are going to praise somebody, do it in public. but it may be something that you have to say, hey, let's talk privately about that before we make a call. Or it may be something that you notice it's a family event and nobody is giving a toast to your grandmother, who everyone's here for. So you are the guy that steps up. Yes, you're the youngest of the men present, but you understand, hey, when something needs to be said, you've got the cojones, you've got the will, you've got the strength to stand up, and you don't necessarily know how to give a toast, but you're going to make it happen because she matters. The next tip to not only looking like a badass, but being a badass is to have your stuff together. And this applies to so many things in life, whether it be your finances, whether it be mentally, whether it just simply be your clothing. But let's, with your vehicle. I know for me, I've got a tow strap because I've got a 4-wheel drive. I've got a truck that can pull people out, and I've done it before. I've got a first aid kit. We have a blanket. You've got water in there. You've got these little things, which it seems a lot of people skip over. But you want to be prepared. You want to be that guy that can step in, especially when it comes to people you care about, and take care of them. The next sign of a badass, and this easily could have been number one, is that you own your F-ups. I'm talking when you screw something up, when you make a mistake, you are not afraid to say, this is on me. Ownership, especially whenever you make a mistake. What is it? Success, everybody is the father of success, but failure is an orphan. No one, but when it's your failure, when you know that you're responsible, you need to step up. I mean, I think about the times in my life that I didn't step up. One time I was driving a buddy's vehicle and I hit another car and I didn't tell him about it. I don't know what I was thinking, but I still regret. And he found out and it really upset him, and it was my fault. And I did eventually come clean. I paid for it and I made amends. But you want to step up in those situations. And the way that you can do this in life, for you young guys out there maybe just getting started, is to practice with the small things. Whenever you make that small mistake, own it and work to get better. So the next way to look like a badass and to be a badass is to understand what is your priority and always keep it first. Now, the word priority has actually been in the English language since the 1400s, and it meant the very first or prior thing, hence priority. Nowadays, it seems like it's become plural, priorities. You've got your priority 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's the problem with that, is that you could only truly have one priority. And you need to make this decision for yourself, what's important in your life, in your day, in the current situation, and hold true to that. And that takes us to the number one tip to looking and to being a badass, is to understand who you are, what you stand for, what your standards are, what your principles are that you live by, and every single day doing your best to live up to those standards. I know for me personally, my core values, honor, courage, commitment. This is what I strive every day to live up to. For you, what is it? I'd love to hear from you down in the comments below. All right, Jen, so what video to watch next? How about the number one rule to always look strong and powerful? What is it? Guys, find out in this video right here. I enjoyed making it, and boom, yes, when you click here, you will go to the next video that I have perfectly crafted and made for you. Boom, right here.